What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Brutal Planet Comics. I'm your host, Straight the Brute Daniels. What a glorious day it is, because we have another episode of the Indie Corner, where I sit down with everybody from the independent community, writers, artists, directors, producers. Doesn't matter if you're in the game, I want to talk to you. Today we have ourselves a very special guest. She is the creator of Redemption. Give it up, everybody, for Corissa Grant.
Hi. Thanks for having me on. That's a great intro.
Oh, the pleasure is mine. And what is going on with you, my friend?
Nothing. Just writing and releasing comic books and driving myself crazy.
Yep, that sounds about right. That's.
Hey, I thought that was right. Okay, I'm doing it right? I'm new.
Oh,
I'm new. So yeah.
New to the game, but playing like a veteran, and that's what I like to see. So, Corissa, I want to thank you first and foremost for making the time to come and talk with me and telling me about all your wonderful work. So let's just get to know you a little bit. Who are you? Where'd you come from? How did we get here?
Okay. I am Corissa Grant. I am currently in Tennessee. I was born in New York, so I have, culture shock as we speak. But I'm liking the no snow. I'm digging the no snow. I have been technically writing for the last 17 years as a role player. I am dyslexic, so I started as a one-liner and worked my way up to 6,000 word replies.
Wow.
And I wrote for 2 years with my co-writer, and we came up with, I think we have written, I added it up yesterday, 95 issues of comics that are already written. So we've been writing a lot. And we're still writing.
95 is a lot. That is a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. This was not planned. We were just so obsessed with our story and kept writing, and after I realized we wrote 11 novels worth, I was like, maybe we should do something with it.
Lord almighty.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And, 5 of those books is this series. So, we thought might as well do something with it.
Yeah.
Make yourself useful, you know, whatever.
That makes a lot of sense. So, did you come from a writing background at all, or anything while you were in New York? Did you study anything in literature, or you just had the passion for it?
Just the passion. Okay. I didn't even know I had the passion. I don't even know where it came from. Everything started with Resident Evil 2. I played the game, was obsessed with it.
I'll do it.
Overly obsessed. And then I learned about role playing, and they said you can be any character you want. And I was like, well, yeah, really? And I was Claire Redfield for 15 years.
Oh my.
And yeah. Yeah. And I kept writing as her, and I just loved the stories that I came up with. I loved the writers that I wrote with, and it was so much fun to get, create your own story, because, the games never do what you want. I mean, I always wanted Leon and Claire to be together, and they never wound up together.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. And the movies never did it right. So I was like, I'm going to do my own thing. And then, I got so obsessed with it. Like I said, it was never my intention to write a story, but after, I was like, I really wish that I can have other people read it. I think people really like this story, and we knew we couldn't release it as a novel because we wrote it in RP format, and we contacted an editor, and they're like, oh, you'd have to cut it in half and merge it together, and we're like, no, we'd rather never make a dime from it than ruin our story, and so we didn't want to do that. So I was like, I'll just print it out for us. We'll have fun. I'll just print it out. We'll read it. So I went to find cover artists just for us, for fun. And I said, these are all cartoony. Did you want cartoony, or did you want realistic? And she's like, no, cartoony's fine. And then I was like, oh, I want to make a comic book. And she's like, okay. So I went out, I hired an artist, and I went to bed that night, and I was like, I don't know how to do a script. She's like, you'll figure it out. I woke up, I wrote a script from I watched some YouTube video. I wrote a script, and then I handed it to Letter, and the letter was like, did you want to see any of the art, or did you just want the dialogue? And I was like, now I have 2 scripts, because I had to cut it in half, spread it out a little. So I learned right away. But I was ahead of the game with my 2 scripts.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Like, I've been around a long time, and I've seen a lot, and I've talked with a lot of people. I've been on collaboration projects. I've done a whole bunch of solo work over the years. As I said in the green room, You building a Bible over there. You building a Bible. That's a daggone Bible. That is huge. 95 issues. That's crazy. But I love the obsession. I'm a sucker for that. I'm a sucker for
Got that.
yeah, for that level of obsession and that type of know-how to just try to get it done. So you mentioned Resident Evil. So were you a fan of video games and comic books and cartoons before you started writing?
The comic books, I'm gonna be honest, was more the 90s. I watched Ghost Rider was my favorite comic book. I started with Danny, and I loved Johnny Blaze and Spirits of Vengeance. I really love that. I read Batman too, which is like the exact opposite.
Yeah,
so I read those, and then I kind of got away from mainstream. Then I got into video games and Resident Evil. All the Resident Evils were, my ones with Leon and Claire, but 1 was good too, but 2 was my favorite. 4 was my second favorite, and then Silent Hill. There's a lot of Silent Hill and Resident Evil in my comic books. In fact, book 3 is like Resident Evil 2 with new characters. They're trapped in a zombie infested city, and they run into 2 survivors, and they're trying to get through all of this, and they're going through like a military hospital, and they try to go underground to get out and all that stuff. So it's very very much like that. But it's also got a lot of supernatural tendencies to it. Supernatural is my favorite show, and it made me do like all this research, because I will say I'm a huge fan of Supernatural. However, I don't know if you've ever seen it, but they would just name things and then make up what it is. Like they would use real names from mythology and scriptures, and then they would be nothing like it. So mine I did a lot of research on all the characters. All my angels and demons are from scripture or mythology. We give them the personality, but they have the same powers and jobs, and so we have that. Our vampires are a little different. For issue, which is coming out now, issue 5 is our Kickstarter is June 20th through July 17th. I kind of changed it up a little bit. I didn't like that vampires bleed when they have no heartbeat. So ours has a heartbeat every 6 hours, just enough to keep off rigor mortis. So they have very clotted blood. So they're a lot stronger because of it. But if you cut them, it's a little more disgusting. But also they have a hive mind where if they taste your blood, they can follow you wherever you go, like a homing beacon.
Interesting.
And if you kill one of them, they want revenge, and they all track you down. So ours is pretty much that happens, and then she has to track all of them down to stop them. It's very, very Resident Evil-esque, supernatural horror, but it's like an adventure story. It's like a survival adventure story, because they're trying to survive against the zombies, hellhounds, zombie mermen, ghosts, all this cool stuff. Anubis is in it. So it's never boring. I'll give you
if nothing else, you got that. So you mentioned like your influences and all that great stuff. So as far as the arc is concerned, I believe it's a tandem of protagonists that's going through this adventure. Where do you see this story head? Well, no need for spoilers here. But you have a base that people are familiar with. Everybody, even if you're not a fan of Resident Evil, you know what it is, you know how it works, you know how it functions. And everybody loves some type of apocalypse of any sort, zombies, whatever the case may be. So it's already built in there. That's already there. So with your arc that you have in play with Redemption, where do you see this going? Like, is there like an apex? Is like where you want the story to be, like a crescendo of some sort, or like not really resolutions, but like where do you think this can go? That will like take Resident Evil, but to your own direction.
So these 5 books is series 1, and their main goal here, which they don't know it yet, but their main goal here is to stop their fathers, the angel and the demon, from stealing the angelic weapon that she was created out of, because to take it away from her would kill her, and it but it has the power of souls, which can tip the scales of heaven or hell. So this is mostly about them survival. However, There will be a warning on the last page that if you don't want a happy ending, don't keep reading the epilogue. And then the epilogue goes into series 2, which is actually going to be a huge war between heaven and hell together against my characters and other ones that they bring in.
Fascinating.
So there's a lot of different cultures in this. There's obviously Anubis and his army of mummies. There's Hecate and Hades with their zombie army, which of course my characters hate because they've been fighting zombies and all these creatures this whole time. Now they got to work with them. But yeah, it's going to be like an all-out war between cultures, I guess you want to.
Interesting. So, like, from what I'm getting is the vibe that you're dabbling in all different forms of cultural afterlives, more or less. Because maybe that's like Egyptian, all the other ones. So that's very interesting. I personally have not seen that before. So that's unique. I like that. I like that. Very good, Corissa. Very good. So, where can folks check your stuff out? You got a Kickstarter? What you got going on? What's happening?
So right now I have a Kickstarter, depending on when this airs, but like I said, June 20th it starts. It is for issue 5, but we always have all of them available. So you can even just get issue 1 as a tier, as a PDF or as a print, or you can get issue 5. Or also we have all the back issues on the add-ons and all that fun stuff. The easiest way to find us is Kickstarters to search Worthy Chaos. We're the only thing that pops up. It's the easiest way to find us on Twitter and Facebook. We have a Facebook group called Worthy Chaos so that people can see rewards that are coming or tiers that are coming and art and all that stuff ahead of time. We do have a really cool add-on this time that I was on 43 podcasts last campaign and did not mention once. So my job is to mention it this time. We have a very special tier where you can be drawn in as a zombie in issue 8 and choose either to stagger on or to have your choice of demise. And my artist, it used to be a portrait artist, so he's very good at it. We just had this last one that people could be, I didn't advertise it till literally the day of, and then 3 people signed up. You could be drawn in as a vampire and then choose your death. So we had 3 do that. And they loved it. Not only do they get to be drawn in, but they get the PDF as well. And they get it about 3 months before the comics even released. And we release every 6 weeks up until Halloween. And then I'm going to let people their wallets between November and January. And then January 23rd starts book 2, which is going to be awesome because that's where the more zombies are. We have anyone that played Resident Evil 2, we have the liquor type creatures that are these giant salamanders and ghosts and stuff. So like I said, never boring. And one of the reasons why it's never boring as a role play, you have to entice the other person to write back, so you have to make things interesting. And I kind of got a little one of my letter was like in issue 1 my characters think that they're dead for 10 years. So when they finally meet up, finding out they're alive, they didn't like kiss and then whatever because they thought it was fake. They thought it was a bad dream, or she thought it was like a curse or something. And so they didn't really have time to talk. And then they get attacked by an entire town of ghosts. So I was like, shouldn't they be kissing and stuff? I was like, did you not read it? I was like, you don't have any time. I think it wasn't until issue 5 that they have like 4 pages to talk for once, and then they get attacked by something.
Of course.
So yeah, so there's no boredom here at all. So
well, that is tremendous. That is tremendous. I love this project. I love what you're doing. I love your passion. I love your obsession above everything else.
I've been saying that I'm addicted to the obsession.
Yeah, I'm going to agree. I'm going to agree with you 110%. Well, Corissa, this sounds like it's going to be a really ambitious project. This thing seems like it's going to have a lot of staying power. Definitely have relatability to a lot of different fans of different genres that a lot of people will enjoy. This seems like it's going to be a huge success, and I want nothing but the best for you all over there. This is tremendous. I really do, and I really do appreciate you coming on and sharing all this great stuff with me.
I appreciate being here. It means a lot to me. It really does.
Oh, the pleasure is all mine. So everybody, she is Corissa Grant. Check out all her links. Will be in the description section below. Check out the Kickstarter, a whole 9 yards. Support this. I want to see this go to the moon. Support this. This is great. This is great.
Thank you.
So, Corissa, thank you so very much. So, everybody, who am I? I'm Dre, the Brute Dance. Follow me on all my dope social media platforms. I'll put right under my face. They're not there yet, but there will be. At the Brute00 on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and if I feel like being silly, on TikTok. And do all those great YouTube things. Like, comment, subscribe, and share the video. As always, you guys have been awesome. This has been the Indie Corner, and I'll catch you all next time. Also, if you want to support my channel, check out spinwiz.com or download the Spinwiz app and check out my comic series, Trouble. It was written with a lot of love, and it was definitely my favorite comic series to write. I've also written it in English and in Spanish, so whatever floats your boat, I got it for you. Thanks again, and check it out.